Hi, Aquarius. My name is Audrey Alison. Thank you for joining me for your October 2016 forecast for the month. It's a beautiful day out here, but it's very hot. And it's like 95 degrees out here, and I'm glad you're here to watch the forecast. And thank you for subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate your support and for choosing me to read for you, and for liking my Facebook page, Audrey Alison Astrology and Tarot. I'm using the Alchemical deck by Robert M. Place. This is my go-to deck if you book with me. This is the deck I will be reading more than likely. Unless people request certain decks. I do have a ton. I have a lot of decks. So some people like to have their own deck for the reading. So if you'd like to request it, I'll see if I have it. Okay, so let's start the top of the month. On the 7th of October, we have Mercury making a transit, and he's making up for some lost time due to his retrograde in September. And he's entering the sign of Libra, where he meets up with the Sun and Jupiter. So this is such an expansive sector of your chart, Aquarius, and that is the 9th house of belief systems, of philosophies, religion, your political standing. What are you believing in? It's also the house of foreign travel and the metaphysical, the Eastern type of holistic healing approach. Mercury into this sector could see learning abroad, studying foreign cultures and language because it's Mercury ruling the speech, and conjunct the Sun and Jupiter. I mean, this is expansive energy in this sector. A lot of Aquarians should be traveling. Do something that you haven't done, something that's foreign to you. Get out of the country. Go somewhere on the bucket list. With Jupiter there's this faith and optimism that you can handle any task in the 9th house. So, or I want to say even experience any technique in the 9th house. So if there's ever been a fascination or interest in acupuncture, Reiki healing, the tarot, astrology, that's all 9th house as well. So with Mercury, there is this desire to learn and study. So perhaps this is applying in those areas for some of you. And why shouldn't it? If you're watching this channel, you're definitely drawn to that kind of realm, that interest. So that's spectacular. And you know, Jupiter in the 9th house, that's a double whammy. He naturally governs the 9th house. So this is travel upon travel for Aquarians. Beautiful. On the 16th, we have our full moon at 23 degrees of Aries. So there is a culmination and an awareness, an ending, an illumination in the 3rd house of siblings, 3rd house of communication, speech, of the vehicle, 3rd house of local travel, errands, local communities. Maybe you're coming back from just a short trip or a short distance around that time. Or maybe some of your siblings are moving or going at a distance, or there's an ending between a relationship here. Or for those of you who have been beefing with siblings or have had something, underlying here, you could squash it. You could squash your beef around the 16th, around mid-month with this full moon here. And why not? Why carry too much negativity around with you and judgment of others? Just, let it go. Let the full moon take that away. On the 18th, Venus, balance, harmony, enters Sagittarius, conjunct Saturn in the 11th house of goals and friendships and clubs and groups and social organizations that you're affiliated with. So there is a beautiful connection for Aquarians who have a lot of female friends. Venus in the 11th will see you spending a lot of time with them. There's also attraction to anything social and new clubs. But with Saturn there has been a limitation here, a tweaking, a repression in this 11th house. Maybe you're redefining your goals. But with Venus here now, she's, making what was a little bit uncomfortable with Saturn more tolerable. So I like that. You're getting a little reprieve here because Saturn will continue to be in this sector for you, Aquarius, through December 21st, I believe, of 2017. So there's, still some time in this Saturn, this energy with Saturn. He lasts 2.5 years in this sector. On the 22nd, the Sun starts activating all things career for you, Aquarians. There is the Sun, 2 days later, on the 24th, Mercury. And then 6 days after that, on the 30th, the new moon at 7 degrees of Scorpio. Sun enters Scorpio on the 22nd, affecting the 10th house of career. Mercury enters Scorpio on the 24th, and we have our new moon there on the 30th. So this is spectacular Halloween energy, and I'm saying that because of the Scorpio activation. But having the new moon on the 30th of October, I love this. I'm really into it this year because it's going to make a very witchy Halloween for those Wiccans and people who celebrate Celtic faith and are more in tune with nature and the elements, and who celebrate Samhain as opposed to Halloween. This is spectacular because the 31st is the first day of the year for Wiccans, not January 1st. So having a new moon here, it's just amazing, and it's special because it's Scorpio, and that's normally governs the 8th house of solar, on the solar wheel of mystery and the dark side and the occult and all things Halloween. So I think it's very special. But taking Halloween out of it, having the Sun conjunct Mercury and the new moon in this career sector, Aquarian, it's time to get to work, or you're going to be communicating and identifying with career and what really is your highest purpose in the 10th house. And this is a very, very strong activation the last week of October, and this will carry through 3 weeks into November. Throughout this month, we can't really get through it without discussing all of the squares that we're having. It's, these transits are beautiful, okay? But the aspects that are underlying are not so beautiful. And there is a lot of discord with Mars, who will be sitting on top of Pluto in the sign of Capricorn from the 12th of October through November 4th. I mentioned this in the September forecast, that I'm not really feeling this. This is too aggressive, it's too abrupt, and it's all squaring Uranus in Aries, which is volcanic eruption energy. It is earth shaking and earth breaking, is what I'm saying. Groundbreaking. This could be politically, too, on a global level, considering it all falls through our election period. But by the 4th of November, Mars and Pluto will at least be 9 degrees separated, which is better. In astrology, when planets are conjunct, that's either they are an exact conjunction at the same degree, and then it can dissipate the energy up until about 5 degrees. But as an astrologer, I really like to see planets clear about 9 degrees of separated space before they're less effective. So through the 4th, at the 4th, they'll be 9 degrees separated. But this, for you specifically, Aquarius, this applies to the 3rd house of communications, where you've had Uranus, and who's been there will be there a total of 8 years, 7.5 years. And then you have Capricorn in the 12th house. So it's the communication sector mixed with the 12th house of quiet. So it's like knowing when to speak and when not to speak. When to speak versus when not to speak is what the square is involving. So you want to watch the speech and how aggressive you're coming across at that time. It could be that you put your foot in your mouth around that time. Through the 12th of October, all the way through November 4th, watch how you're communicating and what you want to communicate, because maybe not everything needs to be said, or doesn't need to be said as aggressively or abruptly. So let me shuffle the cards, and hopefully this homeboy behind me can back up his car in less than 5 minutes, and we could get the reading going. Bye. Okay. Aquarius, what is in store in the tarot for October? And if you'd like to book with me, I am at audreyallison.com. You select your desired reading length via the PayPal button, and I will get back to you in an email in a couple days, and we'll set it up, give you some times. Aquarius, Queen of Cups. This is a water sign female, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. It also, if it's just referring to you, it's your psychic intuition. It's your ability to dream. It's having an awareness intuitively. Let's see what else comes up. Talk about intuitively. God, this is psychic stuff. High Priestess. Knowing when to speak versus not to speak is the High Priestess. Let's see what else. The Empress. This is motherhood, fertility. Projects that are coming to fruition, expansion. Look at all these females. Okay, check this out. This is really very quiet energy right now, other than the cars around me. Queen of Cups, right into the High Priestess, and then the Empress. All of these strong female energies. Let's see what else comes up. Okay, and then we end with an Aquarian energy, the Knight of Swords. Some of you should keep still and quiet is what I'm really getting. Don't give everybody every bit of information. You see how she has her finger over her mouth? She's going, shh, not everything needs to be said just yet. And you might be getting rid of a water sign female in your life right now, Aquarius. Not all of you. None of these messages are going to apply to every single Aquarian, but I want you to draw from them if they apply to you. I also want to say that perhaps some of you Aquarians who have been trying to get pregnant didn't have a successful first attempt. I want to see what else this card says. Oh, but then here we go. Oh my gosh, this is really sweet because this is the card of pregnancy combined with this. This is extremely fertile. This is phallic. This is sex, the Ace of Wands, pregnancy, getting pregnant through sex. I mean, obviously, how else are you going to get pregnant? But it's very active, trying and trying physically, lots of sex. And then right before that, it's like it didn't work the first time, but it's going to happen now. Don't give up the ship. Where do I know that from? Where the hell do I know that from? I don't know, it'll come to me. But what I just heard is don't give up the ship, meaning if you've tried once or twice, or whatever, how many times, maybe twice. See how many bones are on there? 1, 2. If you tried once or twice, don't worry about it. This is fertility. So for those of you Aquarians who are able to conceive, that's what's up. I mean, if you don't want to, you got to protect yourself. But also don't tell everybody about these. Don't tell everybody about it. Isn't there a thing where if you're pregnant, you don't announce it at least for 3 months or something like that? I don't know what the deal is. But yeah, keep it to yourself. You know what else I'm noticing? People's negative energy, even though they don't have power over you, it's still there. And you don't want people who are jealous, hater, weirdo people who don't really want your success, that you don't want them kind of wishing you don't have yours. So, and that so happens. It's happening more and more each week. But you just don't want to share with them then. And, they can be bitter and alone and hate on themselves. But you don't need to share everything. Keep it to yourself. And you already know who you can trust and who you can't trust. And maybe some of you already know right now that you're actually pregnant, is what I'm getting. Now, clearly, the guys, I know I'm going to get some guy writing an email, hey, I can't get pregnant, I'm a dude. Yes, I realize that. However, we can't get pregnant without you. So you're involved. So, flip the pronouns and the verbiage around a little bit and see how that applies. But also, please watch your ascendant and your rising sign, your ascendant and your moon sign for forecasts, because I'm getting emails or getting notified that people are really responding to the moon sign, which at first I wouldn't suggest watching, but why not? I mean, whatever works for you. There's no mold to astrology and divination. There is no mold to how to read the tarot. This is all an interpretation. It's a calling. You know you're a messenger, usually at a young age. Um, and this is just my personal interpretation of planetary energy as well as the tarot. Two things I would say I'm very versed at. So it can't apply to everyone in the same way, but watch your other signs because you can draw from it. I hope this was helpful for you, and I'm wishing you a sweet October, Aquarius. Remember, the sky is limitless, so reach for the stars.